What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I wanted to do a channel update, a mid-year channel update. We'll talk about this channel, and I definitely always want to hear from you, so let's throw it out there just immediately. If there's anything you like, dislike, want to change, want to adapt, definitely let me know in the comments, especially those that watch these videos. You know, you guys are the diehards. You guys are the ones that I assume probably know me the best, so fire away in the comments. We're going to talk about this channel. I also want to throw in the other two channels really briefly as well. Just talk about the whole ecosystem of it. You guys are watching this video most likely when I'm doing my mini vacation in July. I'm recording this way earlier than that, but I'm going to have videos daily over the next couple of weeks or like week and a half. I have a ton pre-recorded, and then I'm going to do just a couple each day, weekdays, when I'm visiting my family. Hopefully my parents don't get too upset, but I think everything's going to be okay. So let's talk about this channel really fast. It's been an up and down, first half. There's actually quite a bit, I think, to talk about. So one thing is the slowing down a little bit of the channel analytically over the last couple months. And the thing I want to kind of lean into is I'm okay with it. I don't think it's the end of the world. Things fluctuate, and things have fluctuated since I've been around on YouTube, or especially even since when I fully started. It goes up and down. And also the last couple months has been without really two giants that I've leaned on for quite a while, which is Scream and which is Hogwarts Legacy, right? Those ended in February and in March, back-to-back months. So the last couple months has been without those kind of titans. Now, I've always prided myself because before those things were super big, the channel was still doing fine and it was growing, and it did it without them. So that's why I hate, I never want to be considered a Hogwarts channel or a Wizarding World channel. I'm not a Scream channel, right? I hate those kind of labels, and because it's not true. That's not what this channel is. And so, you also have to back that up, right? So can your channel survive when those things aren't happening? I think it has. And I think it's forced me to kind of look back and say, what were some of the older things, the more creative, side of me? What did he do that I can do, now, years later? So here's what I've kind of realized and started to kind of form in the first half and now going into the second half. So I said last time I did this channel update, one of the things I want to do is really separate the channel. I've done that. I think I've done that fully, and I'm really happy. So this channel is modern. This channel is new stuff. So news, rumors, leaks, right, that stuff, but also games that are coming out. So whether it be theories or predictions, and one thing I will talk about, 5 things to know about, right? Those kind of titles, which I did that back in the day. Then it kind of, I'm not saying I popularized it because I definitely didn't, but I used to do things like that. Then I noticed the trend on YouTube where everybody does that. And I was well, I stopped, so maybe I'll just jump back into it. And I have, and they've been doing pretty well. So that kind of stuff, reviews, previews, the Why I'm Getting series, right? That kind of stuff. That's what this channel is. Then Scream, and then Pirates of the Caribbean. Those are the only 2 movies that I will cover on this channel. Everything else, in terms of movie reviews, Across the Spider-Verse or, whatever, that's all on the second channel. And then the third channel is for past games, any game that's already come out. Now, for a thing like, say, Kingdom Hearts, when Kingdom Hearts 4 gets going, I will do videos talking about the past, but it'll be a little bit different. So, largely, that channel is reserved for the past. So, I've split the channels up, and I think that that's going to work long term. I don't know if it'll necessarily help this channel. I think it'll make this channel less confusing. It'll probably definitely help the third channel. But I think it's just better for everybody that what each channel does, right? And then, I mentioned the whole list kind of thing. I'm trying to experiment. With it. So a couple of things I kind of want to either keep doing or bring back or try new things like that, right? So news, rumors, leaks on the biggest things, those stay. Now in the summer months, like July, for example, the month we're currently in, but I'm not recording this in that month, July is very dead, right? So this will be actually a pretty big struggle kind of month. But for the most part, outside of July, the news, the biggest things will be here. And as I've always done, really, the secondary news I put on Podcast Now Plus, which that channel is grown, and those videos actually do extremely, extremely well, sometimes beating this channel. So I don't even know how YouTube works anymore. I like it like that, though. And you could argue maybe no news really is secondary if it does better over there than here. But I try to pick the biggest things or, again, upcoming things and put it on this channel. So news, rumors, leaks, stay here. They've been here for a long time. Things on upcoming games. So the Why I'm Getting series, things, previews, that kind of stuff. I used to do, I mean, I guess it was just a few months ago. I tried, I think what I called it like an ultimate preview. A lot of people liked it. There were a couple people that didn't like it, and the fact that I would use the term ultimate preview, but it'd be like 5-6 minutes long, and people would be like, it's so short for an ultimate preview. But I'm just trying to give like the facts. I'm just trying to go through literally what you need to know and get out. Now there's other ways of doing that. Literally what I just said, what you need to know about, blank games. So I guess what I'm trying to say for like the average viewer is I'm going to try to experiment a little bit more for games that are about to come out. So one thing that stays will be like the predictions or theory side of things. So like when Jedi Survivor came out, I did probably 6 or 7 videos leading into it on theories, different things that are going to happen. Then I think I did, I don't know if I did an ultimate preview, but I think I did some sort of special video for games that interest me. I do want to do a couple kind of like special videos where it's everything you need to know before you buy, or 10 things you need to know, or ultimate, whatever. They're all really the same thing. Everybody on YouTube titles it slightly different, but they're all exactly the same thing. So I can't really make it all that different, but I can at least I can throw my flair. I think I talk differently than most people. I think a little bit differently than most people. So I do think I can make it unique to myself, but that's something I definitely want to do. I used to do stuff like that. I really kind of stopped, and I want to go back to it. And then, I mentioned looking back, like what did I used to do that I want to kind of bring back? So every half year, I talk about the whole, I do like a series of like what's going on with a game. So I'll talk about a game, talk about the state of the game at that moment, and talk about when I expect to see it or if we expect to see it. I love doing those, and those honestly do really well in terms of viewership, long-term too. And I noticed, and I was thinking, okay, well, these videos have always done well. I do enjoy doing it. Why? Like, what makes them so special? And then I look back 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, even when I was doing like a video, not 3 videos a day, when I was doing other things, when this wasn't my main job, right? What were the kind of videos I was doing? Kind of like that. I would talk about, will we ever get like an Infamous 3? And it's more of these discussion kind of videos on games that may never exist. I like that stuff. I've always liked that stuff. So stuff like that, I do want to bring back. And I still think that fits the theme of the channel, right? Because we're not talking about past games. We're only talking about the games now, the games that are just about to come out and doing some, special things with them. And then I guess games that may never come out. So those are some things. I want to keep it going just so I don't bore you guys too much. Live streams, obviously going to continue those. I've tried to do different stuff with live streams. I think my live streams are somewhat unique, at least in like the themes of them. I think there's room for growth, basically. So a couple of things I want to do there. I want to keep like the themed streams going. Obviously Hogwarts, I did it. Scream, I've done it. I did it for a couple different games as well. We actually did it for like Texas Chainsaw. And I think going into the fall, I'd like to do it. Maybe like a whole live stream on Alan Wake or a whole live stream on Assassin's Creed. I think that could be fun. I think there's room to grow there as well. I've mentioned like a morning show or daily show. I've always debated this channel, second channel, like what do I do there? One day I'll decide. I also think it's too much for me right now to actually do it. But I do think one day I would like to do like a daily live stream. And again, maybe on like the second channel on like the news of the day. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But that is something I'd like to do. And then I want to somewhat introduce like the gaming live streams back. Now here's the deal with the gaming live streams. So people tend to really like it, at least after the fact. People that watch live, normally it's dead. So if I'll live stream a game, now depending on like the season or depending on the topic I'm talking about, the stream could be dead. There could be not that many people watching anyway, right? It really just depends on what you're doing. But I do notice that even playing a brand new game, the day it comes out, the viewership is super low. Now people will tend to watch it after, and it'll tend to get really good reception. So I play with it. I would not expect like every week me to do a live stream on a new game. I don't think that makes sense. I just don't think the viewership is there. But I do see the people that say how much they like it and bring it back or do more of it. And I will try. I'll try to do at least a little bit more of it. And I think going into the fall, obviously that would help. Beyond that, shorts. I try to do like a short every week. kind of still doing it, maybe like every other week, every 3 weeks. Shorts are supposed to help your channel in some ways. They don't help your channel in other ways. They're kind of an annoyance, but you're supposed to kind of do them when you're in this ecosystem. So you may see a short every now and then. And then some of the last stuff really is just, the growth. So the channel's slowed in terms of it growing, but it obviously is still growing, and I greatly appreciate it. And I do think one day we'll get to 100K and above. So I'm happy with it. Look, eventually when you get to a certain point, subscribers really don't matter. It really comes down to the views of the videos. I've said it so many times, but in case you're new, like, I do think I hurt myself. That's the whole point of me trying to separate things in these 3 channels, because I think a couple of things I self-inflict, my own wounds. One thing was doing too many different kinds of things, right? Which is bad, and you don't want to do that. So I still think I do it, because really pirate stuff and Scream stuff should not be on this channel, but they are, and I'm not changing, and I'm too stubborn. So that still hurts me, I think, to an extent. But another thing that hurts me, I do think, is doing too many videos, right? I think I do too many a day. I do think that hurts. But again, stubbornness, and I think there's still a way to make that work in current day YouTube. I've seen other people that do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos. Like, there's people that will legitimately do that. I don't know how. They'll do like 5, 6 videos a day. It can work. It can work. It's just I got to pick better topics. I got to be smarter with news stories. And again, I got to experiment more with things that are super far out, or list kind of things, or kind of like deep dives. I don't want to say some of them are like more effort videos. I think how I put effort into it is on the quantity, maybe not necessarily the quality. But with that being said, that actually does go into the next thing. I think at least thumbnail wise, I've gotten a lot better. I don't know what you got. I mean, you can let me know in the comments. I think the thumbnails have gotten really good. My wife Christy actually did them for a good maybe like year and a half, maybe like a year and a half ago. So I've been doing thumbnails by myself for the last year and a half, and I think just over the last like 6-7 months I've gotten progressively better at them. So I feel good about like the visual look. Obviously then you click on the video, and I'm sure I could do a better job there, and I will. I'm trying to do a better job there, trying to make it a little bit more jumpy, or keep people engaged. Again, for me, it's more like trying to focus on knowing all this stuff and having all these unique videos with unique themes, and that kind of takes like the number one spot over, I guess the quality of the video. But again, I think the quality is more in the knowledge and the information versus like the visual look. But there's room to grow, and I'm going to do that. Again, maybe that's something where I don't do 3 videos a day. Maybe I do 2, and that would allow me to do it better, right? Or to come up with more kind of creative topics. But I like what we're doing. I think it's going to work long term. I think the idea of for this specific channel, keeping it at current games, and just focusing on those big new, which really, like, we've had a lot of big games that came out this year, but they've all been scattered. And it's actually, except for like pockets of time, there's multiple weeks where there's been very little news, rumors, leaks, anything like that, which obviously that's like lower viewership, because normally I think it's more active than what it was the first 6 months of the year. I think this 6 months in terms of news, rumors, and leaks has been lower than what it normally is. So once that picks up, I think that'll help. And then I just got to get better with, and I never want to force it. I'm never going to pick a game to do these kind of special videos, or, 10, like, if you notice, I didn't really cover Zelda. I made one video leading into it. My wife reviewed it, and it's just because I don't know too much about Zelda. I don't think that's fair to you guys, but like an Alan Wake, I did like a 6 things you should know video, and that did pretty well. Games that I'm more into, I can cover in different ways that I think would be more interesting. Games that I'm not into, I'm either going to not cover at all or do like one video, but again, it'll never be forced. I used to do it like 4 or 5 years ago. I used to like force myself into covering like a racing game that I just didn't care about or whatever. I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that honestly in years. Anything I talk about, I have some sort of genuine passion. There's a bar. Maybe it's not like full on passion, but it's definitely in there. So let me know again in the comments what you guys think. Improvements, changes. I think I'm kind of set in my ways and just trying to allow the changes I've already done to kind of like manifest. And there still has to be some changes in terms of picking kind of unique topics to fill in gaps if there's nothing going on, say, in a given week. I got to get better at just like coming up with some random ideas, which I used to do all the time. So I know I'm capable of it. I got to do that. And then I also got to start picking kind of unique topics for upcoming games that obviously, and some of those are kind of like cheaper one, like again, to be real, there's so many people on YouTube that'll do. There's so many of them that'll do. This is huge news, or 10 things you should know. Every gaming website does it as well. GameSpot's actually done an incredible job on YouTube with like 15 things I wish I knew before I played X game. There's like 50 videos that are like that, right? I want to do stuff like that, partially because of like exposure, partially because I do find those videos interesting and I would like to do them. And then the only thing is I want to try to make it something that you haven't seen before. And honestly, you probably will have seen it, but you may not have heard it. So hopefully some of my tips or some things leading into a game's release that I'm saying maybe you haven't heard anybody else say, that's where I think I can stand out. It's really the only place you can stand out because everybody does pretty much the same thing on YouTube. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.